Alright, sounds good to me. Looks stretched to me.
Whoa. So yeah, the run we are going to do now is Super Mario Land 2, 6 Golden Coins, by Dadinfinitum. Which, this run's gonna be pretty dope. If no one has watched the run of this game before, you should definitely, check yourself and then, watch this run. And then after that, he's gonna be doing the any % encore as well, since that incentive got met. So this should be a pretty dope block here.
So shall we get it started?
If you're ready, yes.
Cool.
Okay. Then /go in 3, 2, 1, 0. There. We are off. This is SML2, as mentioned before. We just saw a lot of super jumps, like a lot of super jumps in SML RPG. This game also has super jumps. They are quite different. They are not as numerous, but they are, well, maybe one is more difficult than a single one in SMRPG, but it's a very different kind of super jump. We will see one in the in like 4 levels. And in this first level there's not much going on in that term, but we can see one technique that is Dad jumping at the end of blocks, the last corner. It pushes him like 1 pixel forward if he gets it. Sometimes saves a frame, sometimes it doesn't. Like over the course of the run it saves like maybe 2 seconds. If you get all of them, 2.5. Can be significant if you're really good at them. We went to the tree zone. You saw we have an open world in this game, or well, somewhat open, and we can choose where we go first. In the end we have to clear all the zones. At each end of the zone there is a golden coin, as the name suggests. And once we've collected them we get access to the castle that Wario has occupied, while Mario was actually on his way to rescue his princess in Super Mario Land 1. And the tree zone is the first zone that we play if we go the clockwise direction. The clockwise direction is the fastest one by like 2 seconds. That has to do with like power-up management. Because that is something that is very important in this game. You want to have certain power-ups at certain points in the run to be able to progress faster, or like fly over levels, kill enemies better, reduce lag in general. And that is in the second tree zone level now. You see some strange physics here in this gel syrup section. It's quite weird to navigate, because it's sticky, but it doesn't exactly slow you down like swimming would if you hold your run button, but you just still don't want to get stuck there for too long. And you also see the carrot power-up right here. The first and only time we see this power-up in any Mario game, I believe. And as the interesting... if you played this game as a kid, you probably were not really aware of that you can flutter infinitely by just mashing the button like crazy. If you just keep it held, you will slowly descend. If you mash, then you can actually flutter forever. So I just skipped over the first super jump. We will see other ones, and then I will explain what they actually are. And this level, Dad has 2 choices. One is for safety, which would be maintaining the bunny ears, but that's awkward. So I assume he will go, yeah, he's damaging himself down here, and he's gonna grab the fire flower. That makes killing the boss a lot faster, and also makes the upcoming levels a little bit less awkward. Okay. That's the first death. That can happen in that section. It's very laggy because of those flying clouds there. Like everything in this game that moves pretty much counts as a sprite, and there's the typical sprite limit for Game Boy games. And if they're more like a rule of thumb is more than 2 sprites plus Mario on the screen, you will like increasingly have more lag depending on how many more sprites there are. And yeah, that just messes with your timing, like it just did for Slash, but it's okay, he can try again. He will probably go for the carrot strat now though, because it's a bit awkward. He would have to damage himself down to become Super Mario, to be able to spin jump, to be able to grab the flower, so that just takes a lot of time and is awkward. So here's the boss fight, how it would have been played like 2011 or 12, I believe. Actually not sure, no, it was until 2013-14. This is how speedruns looked in this game, in this zone. And here's our first coin. So you can see the door to the castle. 5 slots open. 1 is filled with the tree zone coin. And our next stop is not the next zone quite yet. It's the only zone that is not directly accessible. We have to go through this almost auto-scroller. It's a hippo having a snot bubble, and we just jump into that and ride it to space. Nothing strange about that. You can do nothing to speed this up here. It's just you're holding the jump button to fly at the top of the screen and just wait for the right time to drop again, which is somewhere right around when the clouds in the background turn all white. And here is Space Zone. It's a very interesting zone movement-wise, because the physics you see in this level are only present in 2 levels. It's this one and the secret level in the Space Zone, which we don't go to in this run. And the interesting thing here is that Mario actually moves faster if he's on the ground compared to when he's like jumping, floating, whatever you want to call that. Slash is doing his weird strat here again. I always have to point it out, so he eventually is gonna change it, so I'm quiet about it. You can see that sometimes he prefers, or he opts to walk instead of jump. Well, second death. He can try again. Maybe he chooses a better route this time. Now he's small Mario here. That is a bit awkward. He can still try to optimize the walking. He shouldn't really at this point. It doesn't save a lot of time. Like over the course of the level, it's like a second. Like doing it optimally compared to not doing it at all. And as small Mario, you are very vulnerable in this level. There are a lot of spikes. There's lag again that makes everything awkward, like we've seen before. He should grab the... Oh yeah, he's taking the power-up. That's a good call. It's one of the rare power-ups that is like not first a mushroom and then a fire flower. Like very few blocks are fire flowers right away. Carrots are always carrots. Just mushrooms are only mushrooms as long as you are small Mario, otherwise there will be fire flowers. And there we go, up to the infamous level with the song that you probably all know. There it is in chat. It's the Star Song. I obviously can't sing it because it would be out of sync. I totally would, and I wouldn't. I hope you're all singing in chat right now. If you've seen AGDQ last year, you probably saw Ice Plug's awesome performance. I think there are very few people who should even be allowed to sing the Star Song. He's one of them. Great chat interaction there. Yeah, this song exists because this level is so long. It's the longest level in the run. It's like 2 minutes and 15, I believe. Just an auto-scroller. Once you've memorized it, there's nothing that can go wrong here. Like, really nothing. You have lots of power-ups if you mess up, if you derp around. You can just grab the next power-up. It's a no-brainer. And so people just started, like, singing, for example, or doing silly stuff. There are even new renditions of Star Songs by Big John and whoever all dabbled in this game for a little bit. We're getting close to the checkpoint. Song's still going. Checkpoints in this game, I haven't even mentioned that yet. You see these bells in the middle of levels. Many of you probably know, like, what could it mean. It's the checkpoint. If you ring the bell and then die, then you start there again. Also, Slash doesn't like the Star Song, so he overwrites it with another Star Song, so to speak. That's the only explanation I have here. And we have our second boss. This boss is a very difficult quick kill, like super quick kill. The normal quick kill is doable. You want to shoot him 4 times before you hit him on the head, and that would like make this fight like 1.5 seconds faster. Slash got a really good outcome as well. He hit him at least 2 times before he hit him on the head twice. So 2 shots equal 1 stomp on the head. And you need to hit him for 6 points, so to speak. So 1 shot, 1 point, 1 stomp, 2 points. And he did that flawlessly. You also want to make sure that you remain Big Mario here. Otherwise you will have to do a weird backup in this level, which is also doable, but kind of tricky. And if you miss it, you die. Or lose 10 seconds. However, if you're Super Mario like he is now, you will be able to perform a spin jump that we've seen before, and the spin jump lets you, for example, break blocks at the bottom, or grab power-ups from above, or do both at the same time, like we will see here. And that lets you grab that fire flower, which we will need in this level to reach the secret exit. The only secret exit we take in the run. And that's why, that's because it's the only exit that actually has progression, the only secret exit. All the other secret exits are dead ends. And just there, so you can, well, find them because they are secret. And this one actually skips 2 of the normal macro zone levels. Saves about 1.5 minutes, I think. It doesn't save, like, what 2 full levels would save, because the level you play instead is an auto-scroller, so you have to spend a bit more time in here. It's also one of those auto-scrollers where you pretty much can't really die, like similar to the Star Song. You start to do stupid things, and that's why, in the end, you actually die on this level. Everyone does at some point. I hope Slash won't.
Well, while, you know, he holds it down on this auto-scroller, am I able to read off a quick donation?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Well, we got our boy, Diddy Kong Racing legend, Stacy, donating $19.08. Appreciate that very much, dude. Thankful for everybody's support for this marathon.
Thank you.
All the runners, participants, everything, everybody. Donators.
Yo, and we are at the end of this auto-scroller. Perfect timing. And we're going into the boss level of this zone, where we will face off the sewer rat. Another quick kill if you have the fire flower, so our main objective here is to keep the fire flower. There are a few places where that's difficult to do, like there are spikes, and you want to try to jump just past them. It doesn't matter if you miss it, you lose like 2 seconds for the backup here. There's another fire flower coming up right here. Yeah, I guess that's an okay backup. And as long as you carry the fire flower into the boss fight, you should not have a lot of problems. There are safe setups. Again, you have to hit the red 6 times. And that was 5. But even that doesn't matter. The backup is quick, and there's another fire flower waiting right up in the next level. So this game, as you can see, is not the most difficult game, both casually and speedrun-wise. Obviously, at the higher speedrun levels, it becomes exceedingly more difficult when it comes to saving frames per level. But yeah, there are lots of power-ups. It's at least for the normal levels, it's a good game for like your first Mario game, for example, if you're a kid. The design choice for the enemies in this zone are a bit less children-friendly, though. Like, there are a lot of like Japanese yokais, like ghosts and monsters, and like, for some reason, Jason Voorhees. Japanese have interesting tastes sometimes.
Oh, Jason Voorhees.
Yeah.
Is this the Friday the 13th edition of Super Mario Land or something?
Apparently.
It kind of looks like it right now, actually, in these levels.
Yeah, that's probably just like there are so many Japanese ghosts and mythical creatures. There's probably one for everything in Western culture as well. You could just, yeah, can draw parallels wherever you want. This level is not too difficult, but there's like you can see right here this room with a lot of pipes. Pipes are very strange in this game. I think you have, no, I'm lying, 7 pixels that you can get into the pipe, and it's not too narrow, but in a run you sometimes just can't get into those pipes. It's impossible. Another star song here. I think Slash grabbed the star there, which is not the normal strat, because he was low on kills. And the kill count is one thing he wants to keep attention to during the whole run, because he will need the reward for, well, what he gets for killing 100 enemies at a very important point at the very end. So he fixed his kill count. He's actually perfectly fine with the kill count now. He like got out of his rhythm earlier with the 2 deaths, but everything's good now again. He wants to make sure he at least keeps Super Mario here until the next level, because he wants to do another of those spin jumps to grab a power-up quickly. It's a very convenient technique. You don't have to slow down at all. You grab the power-up immediately to jump, don't have to hit the block and then jump up and grab it. Just do a spin jump and you have it. Very cool strat in this game. Yeah, ghosts, spike balls. They weren't too creative with the enemies in this level. There's our power-up. This power-up is actually the... Like I mentioned before that you want to have certain power-ups after certain levels. This one is the most important one for saving time. And you will see in a second why. First of all, we have our 4th boss fight though. It's the only boss fight that we don't have a quick kill for. Like even if you had a fire flower here, you could not stun lock her. She would disappear after every single shot, that is 6 times. And that will actually be very, very slow in this fight. So instead we just guess the pattern, because that's actually, well, as random as as it gets pretty much. We can't predict the patterns. Yeah, so you have to stand there. You can guess and like gamble and save potentially a second or so, which we do at a higher level. But it's not a huge time save. It's just, if you're looking for seconds or for tenths of seconds, that's what you do. So he kept his bunny ears, which is very, very neat, because this level here, you saw he skipped one zone and went straight to Turtle Zone. just so he can use these bunny ears. Because otherwise he would have to swim through this level. And there are like zigzag portions where you have to change direction. And that is obviously, like, on top of swimming in the first place, is super slow. So we just fly over everything. Also avoiding a lot of lag, because there are like a few Gordos down there, I believe, and flying Cheeps. Mario things. So just fly over everything. And that's this level. The two actual levels in this zone are both very difficult. The submarine here is one of those swimming levels. Like, optimizing swimming is super awkward. Part of it is random, like the swimming speed is oscillation based. At whatever speed you enter the water or start swimming at, it's either, I believe, oscillation of 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 frames per, well, oscillation per 8 frames, or 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, something like that. Difficult stuff. And you're stuck with that speed once you start swimming. So that's obviously, for a longer swimming section, like at the very end, can lose you a lot of time, or well, save a lot of time if you get the right one. You can fix it, but for that you have to stop, touch the ground, jump out of the water, which is not always feasible to do. It's something we only discovered like 2 years ago now? Maybe not even 2 years ago. Like, at some point someone just mentioned, hey, I'm losing time here, what's going on? And I looked at the recordings and yeah, different speeds, interesting. 10 years of speedrunning this game, nobody has noticed. So right now he has a fast swimming speed. He kept his power-ups until the very end, so he can just abuse his iframes through those obstacles. Saves about 2 seconds, 3 seconds. And this level is also very difficult. He took damage at the end, so that means he is small here, has to avoid a few tight jumps. But as soon as he grabs that carrot there, he should be good for the rest. Like, there's still some difficult sections here. And it's, speedrun-wise, one of the more technical levels, I suppose. As I said, it's not the most difficult game to speedrun and to learn. This one is definitely a non-trivial one. So Slash is gonna grab a backup flower here, again with a nice spin jump, I suppose. Or not. Well, after seeing the recording of this run, he in the future will probably always do the spin jump, because then he doesn't have to wait for that fish there. So his kill count is still fine, even though he took some damage and couldn't kill some enemies that he normally would. But he can still make up for that. There are a lot of enemies in the Mario zone. Oh, I almost forgot the boss. That's how most bosses look in this game. So one more boss to go. So now we can talk about the super jumps that I haven't mentioned before. Super jumps occur when you release the jump button before Mario actually reaches the peak of his jump. That is between 21 and 26 frames of holding the jump button, duration-wise. The one he tried there to get on top of the top gear is a 2-frame perfect, can I say it like that, trick. He has to hold the jump button for 25 or 26 frames to get up there. Didn't quite get it. He has another chance at the very end. There's an identical jump there. It saves quite a bit of time, I think 1.5 seconds for just one jump. Maybe not that much. But again, a second is already a lot. And he got the second one perfectly. Some safe strats here to don't lose his power up, because he wants to fix his kill count. He is like 1 or 2 behind when he wants to be, but as I said, lots of enemies here. Here's the fire flower. And he will have no trouble reaching the 99 kills after this zone. Yeah, there's like a bit of lag reduction going on. Like, you wanna make sure to not shoot in certain places where there are a lot of enemies, right? Like right here, especially those who shoot projectiles, because then one sprite suddenly becomes two sprites. Really don't want that. Yeah, it's interesting, like, you find the boss level in Mario's Crotch region. It cannot be a coincidence. I don't have anything about his mouth, though. What's this stuff here? I think he at least needs to see a dentist. Yeah, there's some fluttering here again. There are also conveyor belts. There are not many. Like, some of those things, those assets in this game are just there for a single level. That's the characteristic of this game. Design once, use once. You never see those things again. As just like these enemies here, those tin soldiers or whatever they are, or the Jack in the Boxes. Just there on 1 or 2 levels and then gone. Okay, he's actually too high on kills now. He wants to avoid 2 enemies in this level. It's something you do sometimes. You overcompensate if you realize midway through, oh, should start killing enemies, and you kill them earlier, and then you still have those that you normally would kill. I think that's exactly what happened here. But he will be good. There's another interesting time save here. You see him spin jump exactly that block with a flower, and that actually reduces lag, because for some reason the flower inside of the block is still a sprite even when it's not out, and it creates lag for some reason. Not every block does that, so it's weird. The 3 piggies are our last normal boss fight, and you can see why it's so important to keep your fire flower. Otherwise you would have to jump on each piggy individually 3 times. That's like the slowest boss fight you can have if you don't have a fire flower here. But everything went fine. He even kept all his power-ups, so he can use those power-ups for damage boosts, or rather frame abuses in the castle in the very first room. Because there are obstacles in the way, and if you have power-ups you can just jump through. That's one more cool thing in this game. You don't get slowed down, you don't have like that pause when Mario gets hit. You can just keep running, nothing happens. Very convenient, and the invincibility after getting hit is 2 full seconds, I believe. That's super convenient. There's a potential super jump right there. He got the super jump, but he jumped too early. That was a pretty good one, actually. And you can see it, you just jump through. Like, if you play this game casually, if you get to the castle, you're going really slowly, don't get hit by those pendulums. But, like, if you knew what works, it would be much easier. Playing faster in the level is actually kind of safer than trying to play safely. Oh, Wario's fists. Don't often get those. You can run past, like, safely past the first 2 ones. You should jump over the pressure plate on the bottom for the third one, because the distance is different and it would hit you. So Slash just showing off the goodies here. And these platforms here, these like fish, bone, skull, whatever they are supposed to be platforms, are also kind of weird. They count as platforms and such as sprites, but they only create lag when they're moving, so you can choose to just jump off them. Oh! Let's not talk over why we collected 100 kills, right? You saw it, he killed that one enemy there, and immediately a invincibility star dropped from the ceiling. That's exactly why we killed, and why he killed 19 enemies before that one. speeds up the next two rooms significantly. And here's our final boss, phase 1. If you pay attention to the in-game timer, you can predict his patterns. So Slash exactly knows when the second phase Wario here will drop down. And he's gonna wait for him and just quick kill him. If you know your timings here, this fight is completely scripted. And one more phase to go, and time is on the third hit on the Fire Wario phase. 1, 2, and there we go. GG Slash. Sub 30, that's decent for a marathon.
Nice run.
Yeah, like we saw the few deaths that are normal for marathon runs, I suppose. GG.
One.
Yeah, very solid. Kept his cool, kept his kill count under control.
Hey.
Yeah, I guess we can just switch over right away.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say everyone donated to see the 80% encore here, so we're gonna fire up that too shortly. This isn't the end of Mario Land 2 just yet.
Yeah, so like a few words before it starts, because once it starts, it's gonna be over really quickly. This one, like compared to this very tame Glitchless run here, is kind of crazy. Because you don't see anything that you would see in the normal game, except for the first couple of seconds. We will be exploiting a glitch that is present in the 1.0 version of the game in the first revision. Well, the first release. And that lets you store your momentum when you go down pipes. And we will see what that is used for. Like, I guess at this point most people have seen it at least once.
Yeah, it's messed up for sure. Obviously, I can't give the specifics because, like you said, I've just watched it, but yeah, it's pretty messed up.
Yeah, like the interesting thing is that that's something that there's just no time for when it's actually happening. What you will see is a representation of the game's actual code, the ROM and RAM, and whatever you have in the game. And the game reads that at level data. And we have to traverse that and play with the SRAM values to trigger certain flags and trigger the end of the game. Pretty cool stuff. So I guess Slash is ready. Shall we count him down?
Yeah, I'm ready to.
Yep. And go in 3, 2, 1, 0. So he will attempt a frame perfect trick here, I believe. Yeah, he will. Additionally to what I told you about maintaining downward momentum through pipes out of levels, you can also try to do that while dying on the same frame as you enter a pipe. He just went for that shell shot there. Didn't get it though. I assume he will just play it safe now and finish the level normally. But yeah, if you time it exactly right, it's a single frame in a almost 60 FPS game. You can, well, save like, how much does it save? 15, 16, 17 seconds, something like that. But he will probably, very, very likely go for the exact same trick again in the next level, where it's not that costly to miss it. So you can just retry over and over again. Yeah, he's going left, that means he is going the pipe death glitch route. So here you don't have to use a Koopa shell. Here's a very convenient ant that throws a boulder at you, and he wants to time his down input through the pipe exactly on the frame he dies. He can retry as long as he wants. That only loses like 7 seconds, I believe, per missed attempt. So once he continues, we will know he got it. again. So you can keep retrying, as I said. If he wouldn't go for this trick, he would have to complete the first level of the pumpkin zone completely. So optimally, I think that's like a time save of at least 30 seconds. I'm not sure about the exact number here. Okay, I believe he got it this time. I had the audio on for a bit, yeah. So what happened now is the game still thinks he's going down a pipe. Though in this level there's no pipe at the beginning, so it still pushes him through and he falls right through the ground. This exit here is very difficult to get though. Let's see if he got it. Ah, sadly not. Like there are 2 flags on the top layer there. One, well, more flags actually. For one, he has to... well, one clears the level and marks it as cleared. The other one is, so to speak, the flag for a secret level exit that puts you out of the level, but the level is not cleared. He does have to have it cleared though, because he has to perform that pipe glitch, like the actual pipe glitch again. Just give me a second, stream keeps freezing for me. Okay, should be good now. Yeah, so he finishes this level now. And now has to perform the pipe glitch. So he goes down the pipe. Because he has finished it already, he can start to select out of it. And then he can do this as Big Mario. And you need to be Big Mario here at least to be able to break blocks, because as Small Mario you cannot spin jump and break blocks from above. And here starts the memorization part, the crazy block loop part. He has this all like memorized, obviously. If you hit the wrong blocks here and break the wrong blocks, sometimes just touch the wrong blocks, the game will just reset. Hard reset. Freeze. Whatever. And you have to start over again. Sometimes it even erases your saves, which is kind of bad during a marathon run, for example. Let's hope that will not happen. And the part he just had to retry, or where he reset, is the so-called pixel pipe. That's a pipe that like traverses you through a section that otherwise would not be... You couldn't pass through that section. There's a barrier in between, and you need that pipe animation to even go down there. Or you would have to find an alternative way. I think there's one that the task uses, but that has some other intricacies, like scrolling the screen to the left, which is not humanly possible, and stuff like that. So he will soon reach that part again, and what he wants to do there is land on a very specific pixel. And he sets that up by starting from a certain pixel already that minimizes the risk of missing it. Like you see him always going left, starting on the very same pixel, starting to run and slide. And if he gets it just right, he will land on that one pixel that lets him through the pipe and not push him back left or back right out. That's not the only difficult part here about this trick. He also has to either release the... oh, almost had it there. Either release the down input for exactly 1 frame and repress it, which is kind of unfeasible. It's doable humanly if you have a like loose D-pad. But he probably goes for a pause buffer. So he releases down, pauses 1 frame after, and then he can buffer the down input when he unpauses. In the meantime, I think my chat has died. Let's bring you guys back. So he's still trying for me. Yeah, like especially under marathon circumstances, this is a brutal trick. Sometimes in runs, after missing it for 5, 6, 7 times, you just reset. But if you have to get it, this is how it looks. And he's on the right pixel here. And he got it. Very nice. So as you can see, he goes down a lot, and he wouldn't be able to if he wouldn't use a pipe there. And then it's just free falling, pretty much. He still has to know where to go, though. It's not that free. And he is now on the last layer, which is the safe RAM portion. So blocks here represent like safe flags, pretty much. Cleared levels, some sprite data, and I think it's not even the original one, but it's a flag that sets the credit scene to play. And that's exactly what he's looking for. It's gonna be in the third layer, and he got it now. He destroyed that block. Has to quit out, re-enter the level, and then the flag gets activated, and the game is done. And yeah, that is the run.
Nice job.
Really nice job. Yeah, still in like 8 minutes, even with those many retries and unsuccessful pipe glitches. Still solid. Yeah. So I guess that's it from the SML2 crew. Thanks for watching, thanks for having us, and keep up the great work for the great cause.
Yeah, thank you guys a lot for doing this run. This game in particular is always a great one to watch, so it's always nice when I see a submission to this one.
I think people can relate to the game in general. Many have played it, and there's always some kind of nostalgia playing with it. If you see it playing. Yeah, like, some did, yeah.
Like low key, this has to be like one of the best 2D Mario games. I don't know if I'm going like overboard with that. But...
Hard agree, yeah. The plug. Yeah, peeps out there, play this game, speedrun this game, play the randomizer, play the color hack. That's all I got.
Oh, they have a hack where they made yeah, that's awesome.
It's actually really cool. You should check it out.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, the guy who made the DX hack has helped me tremendously with the randomizer. He also just made Super Mario Land 1 DX as well.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, Sweet. He released it for anniversary, like Game Boy anniversary. Shoutouts to Torres.
So yeah, thank you guys very much for that run. We're gonna have our boy Just Defend doing Contra 3 next, along with the very, very secret NHL 94 scoring tech reveal being done after the run.